Hey everyone, this is just a really quick video that me and Brendan here are going to do. You guys probably know Brendan from Skull Babylon from Paradigm Shift. We're at the 3 Days of Light Festival, and it turns out they do have Wi-Fi, so we wanted to make a quick video just to say that, well, Brendan's been connecting with some really cool people who actually are going to help live stream the entire event. I really have no idea how well it's going to work or not, but we're going to try it. It'll be fun. So, there's a link. I don't have. It's a live stream link. CJ, do you know what it is?
Yeah, well,
We'll put it in the description.
any of the stuff that you're looking for in terms of like the coverage that I'm doing is at the website paradigmshiftcentral.com/JTR, and JTR stands for Journey to Rock Mount. So I mean, some of you have already seen. We already got like the first few parts of the videos that we've been doing up on the Spirit Science channel as well as my channel, which is youtube.com/skullbabylon. So again, like what I started with the videos and the live feed is all like part of like this bigger story of trying to be able to like bring you guys here to 3 Days of Light with us. Because I mean, you know, like we're here and we want to be able to like experience it for ourselves, but like through our own experience, we want to be able to like share it with you. Because I mean, obviously, not everyone's going to be able to be here, but I mean, they're still part of the story, right? You know, the energies that are being created here this weekend, like. A lot of what I see this 3 Days of Light event, like it's almost like a light warrior training camp is kind of like a one way of thinking about it, right? Like, yes, we're here to have fun. Yes, we're here to play, but we are also here to like be able to share knowledge with each other and return to society in more and have more confidence like in our heart, knowing that like that strength is within us and just being able to articulate ourselves in different ways and to be able to like take on that role as teachers, be it within our community or just like sort of on an individual basis with like new friends that we're like making here and there. So, but yeah, Jordan, like what do you think? Like what do you think? I mean, this whole 3 Days of Light event. Like, I mean, how are you feeling about it?
I am feeling very good. We have a theater and a stage and 2 workshop areas and some gypsies who are providing a whole bunch of awesome stuff for everybody. It's really badass. There's just so many people coming just kind of to exist and co-create and be. It's interesting because the vibe of the kind of the festival is kind of just, you know, celebrate and party, but we also, yeah, as Brendan said, we have work to do. We have a lot of work to do, especially if we want to shift this planet in the matter of time that we have. We have very little time. Rather, we have all the time we need and absolutely none to waste because it does not exist. So, yeah, it's pretty much just is what it is. We don't know what it'll be because it all, you know, as it is, it's a co-creation. Sure, we're here and we're doing stuff and we're going to help live stream and show some stuff for everybody. At the same time, everybody else who's coming is going to make the event be what it is. So really, I think what, like your video series that you're putting together, if you haven't seen it, Journey to Rockmount, though you keep saying Rockmount. I guess it is a mountain, so it's kind of fair.
Yeah, yeah.
Journey to Rockmount is more of a personal story. Brendan's kind of adventure coming up here. He's got a few videos of him trying to get through the border and then meeting up with Charles Gilchrist and Jay, what's his last name?
Gabriel.
Jay Gabriel. Awesome. Some really cool people. And he's just doing coverage of stuff that he takes, and then along with that, we have a whole little crew doing more specifically what's happening during the workshops and stuff like that. So we'll have, you know, I'm doing a theater, running a bunch of videos and doing conversations with people. Then there's going to be Phoenix is doing some Merkaba workshops. There's something called Super Wise Me. I'm not really sure what that is, but we're going to find out. I think that's taking over my theater, so we're gonna have to figure out what that is. But that'll be cool too. I'll probably just hang around and talk with them. So
yeah. So you know, like it's really interesting for me to be here, like doing this whole journalism side of it. Because I mean, like that's something that I went for school for, and I've always wanted to be able to like use my skill sets as like a graduate from university in television broadcasting to do it in a way that's actually going to like make a difference in the world, right? I mean, like, yeah, you could just like do commercial videos for companies, but I mean, this is like something that I'm really passionate about because I know that like people out there, such as yourself, who are watching this, are not only getting the chance to like viscerally experience this through like us documenting it, but it's also like inspirational for you guys. I mean, it's cool that that like you can like sort of like, I don't want to say like look up to us, but I mean it's cool that you can see us doing what we're doing, like, you know, like following our bliss, so to speak, so that you too can realize that like you have that choice within your own life to follow your own bliss. So yeah, again, like the journalism stuff that we're doing in terms of the live broadcast, we are working with like, I mean, we're still working on it, but I mean, in addition to that, like I'll be going around like with my camcorder, getting a bunch of interviews and stuff. So I mean, there's going to be the live stream as well as like the ongoing video series that I'll be doing and getting those up to you guys as soon as possible, and then we'll have like sort of a fleshed out version after this is all sort of wrapped up and we really sort of like take in what has happened here. Because I mean, the festival, other than last night with the opening ceremony that we have, which you'll see in the next video that I post soon, the festival technically really hasn't like officially started yet. So I mean,
people are just showing up today.
Yeah,
volunteers came in yesterday though.
Yeah, yeah, and then we got the opening ceremonies tonight, which again we plan to broadcast live, and that will be at 7 p.m. And there may be some stuff that we're doing before that, so just keep an eye open because we'll have you guys. We'll make sure that you guys get the link, so you'll be able to see the live feed, even if it's not like us doing a perfect broadcast. You'll still be able to see us doing the best we can to bring you guys here with us. So I mean, yeah, this is like really fun for us to be here doing what we can to be able to like bring you guys here with us through the lens of a camera. So
yeah, it's fun and interesting because the festivals, I've been to a few festivals now. I'm not, there's some people who've been going forever. I'm sure some of you watching are like, oh, I totally get the vibe, because every festival is different, but they're all kind of centered around the same thing. Sometimes it's music, sometimes art, and more and more now it's like kind of conscious raising kind of awareness festivals. You've never really been to anything like this before.
Yeah, this is kind of new to me. So
yeah, they didn't train you for what's about to happen in journalism school. So you're probably going to see some shifts in this guy pretty soon. And all of us. And that's another thing I wanted to bring up then too, is because to really experience a festival, you really have to be here. You got to bring a tent. You got to just pack up some stuff, and you got to come and hang out. Yeah. And I know not all of you were able to be here, and Brendan's kind of gone to a lot of work to help share this experience with you. At the same time, you will get some of the vibe from the videos, and it's kind of the same thing as like watching a spirit science. Getting it in person, at least in a space like this, is completely different because it's basically, if you imagine, several hundred to several thousand, sometimes it's 16,000 people gathering together in a rather really large open space where there's all sorts of things from vendors to music to art to like there's sacred geometry mandalas, there's live workshops for painting, for drawing, for talking, for everything. There's a lot of dance, a lot of spinning poi, a lot of flow arts, stuff like that. It's really something that you have to experience.
Yeah.
If that's even something that you're interested in experiencing. The whole festival culture is something rather unique to this world. People aren't really familiar with it, and I think in the next little while, probably after this festival, maybe we might put together a few little videos about what really happens at a festival and trying to show that to the world. Because if more, it's kind of like when I read the Flower of Life books, I was like, oh my God, if the whole world just read these books, it would be completely a different world.
Right.
Nobody did, so I made spirit science, but same thing with festivals. If more people understood what they were and came out just to experience it, it would be completely different. A lot of people just want to come out to festivals and kind of get really high and then dance.
Yeah.
And they kind of just lose themselves and they don't really learn anything. And it's okay to do that if you want to, to have that experience. But it's important that if you do choose to come out and get high or do whatever, you use it as a learning opportunity. You use it as an opportunity for growth, and to allow yourself to open some doors and meet some new people and stuff like that. And I don't know if any of that will be happening at this event. It ultimately always depends. Like we had Bhakti Bliss, our own spirit science gathering, about a month ago, and it was completely kind of free of all things like that. It was completely natural. Mm-hmm. Sometimes people sneak in things. I don't really know. So
well,
it's a very interesting culture. Everybody from all walks of life just kind of show up. They have no idea what's happening, but they do because they're aware and they're there to get whatever it is that they get.
Yeah, like I said, like there's a lot of friends down there. Because I mean that's literally where it is. Like we're up in like this separate cabin sort of thing just for the time being, and then all the stuff's going on down there, and that's
it's a really huge
going down. Yeah, it's really nice and stuff. But I mean, yeah, like this. From my perspective, like, what is the purpose of an event like this? Like, I mean, community, like co-creation, like those are like the main words that come to mind. And this is, yes, it's like, so and celebration. So I mean, you know, three C's if you want to pick them: community, co-creation, celebration. Like I don't know, like those to me are just like really what this is about. So I mean, and I think again, kind of like what Jordan's saying, like this is you know, sort of like a micro of what can happen, like on other micros within communities. This just like idea of like gatherings, because I think that's something that, you know, when you get into synchronicity and stuff like that's like a natural part of this whole experience, is that like we as individuals are being like drawn together. I mean, like even, you know, again, so like for the people who may just be tuning in and may not be familiar, like you've seen some, you may have seen some of the work that I've done. Like Jordan's been fortunate enough to, been gracious enough to share it through the Spirit Science. And again, go to paradigmshiftcentral.com and you can find the stuff there, and that's got the links to Journey to Rock Mountain and everything. But I mean, you know, like when Jordan put his stuff out there, and then I knew that I was like putting my stuff out there, and right away it was just like, all right, like both of us have this very similar mission, you know, this very similar objective, and that is to like empower people and to like awaken them to the fact that this information's there, without necessarily needing to tell them like believe this, believe this, believe this, but rather saying like think for yourself. Like the information is in front of you, and you know, search for that knowledge through yourself. Like, you know, discover like that knowledge through experience, like that gnosis. So I mean, like I just think it's really cool that like here we are, myself and Jordan, and like at this, as surreal as this is, like this isn't a surprise in the least. Like this just seems like it was a matter of time, and like we knew we were going to meet at some point, and like here we are, right? But now that we've met, the question is, what do we do with it? You know, like the universe will bring people together, but we still have the free will where we have to actually be able to do something with it. The universe will put something right in your path, but at the same time, you can just be like, nah, whatever, and then just screw it, right? But like now that we have this opportunity, like that's where we have to really like step into the moment and say like, all right, now that we're here, like what are we going to do with this, right? And I think there is a lot of potential, and that's something that, again, I can't tell you exactly what's going to happen. I know it's going to be exciting, and I know it's going to be ongoing for the next like 3 days. And like another part of this is the fact that since there's so much going on, and since like I'm only one person, like I had some trouble getting across the border, and they didn't let me bring my clones across the border, unfortunately. So, you know, like because of that, like I'm just like sort of like one camera person plus a few other people.
Your clones?
So, but anyways, so what I'm saying is that there's going to be so much that's going to be happening this weekend that won't be on camera. And like the real magic, and this is like kind of what Jordan was saying, the real magic is the stuff that like won't be on camera. And
It can't be captured. It happens.
Not in the same way.
It's emotional. And yes, you can create emotions through your videos. It's all experience in person, real time.
Yeah. So there is an essence that's here, and the essence can be like emulated through the video, and you know, that's what I'll do with my editing and stuff, to give you guys that like heartfelt experience of just like, wow, that's cool. Like the fact that like this is happening is really cool. But I mean, again, like unless you're actually here, like it's not quite the same. But me saying that is just me trying to encourage you to go out there and like find other people in your community so that you can have like genuine experiences with other people. Because I mean, you know, again, like the whole thing that I'm doing with Paradigm Shift, and a lot of what Jordan's doing is just like encouraging you guys and trying to remind you of the fact that like the universe is like working with you. Like the universe wants you to succeed. Like this isn't just like us just like willy-nilly like going out there and giving our best effort. Like we got like the strength of, you know, angels, guides, whatever you want to call it. Like we're not alone in this. So I mean, like there's a lot going on that's saying like, you know, that's really interested in what's happening, and it's helping push us in that right direction. But at the same time, we still have that free will where we have to make sure that we utilize it. And I think that's where it's important to be able to like find balance within yourself, because you may have a moment where the universe presents this amazing scenario with you, but if you're not balanced within yourself, then it might just pass you by. And then you're just going to be like, you may not even know that the opportunity, like, you know, there's sort of windows of opportunity that the universe presents for us. So we want to be able to like seize those windows of opportunity. You know, carpe diem sort of comes to mind. So I mean, like that's what this weekend is about. Like this weekend is about like really like seizing the 3 days of light. So to put it like that.
It's interesting too, because this video is probably only going to be valid for about 2 days, and then after that the festival ends, and then what happens? You know, this people can watch it, but there's no more live stream. There's probably some videos that you can
But
see.
yeah, and then
He's
there'll
gonna
be the
post some
videos
stuff.
up.
I'll
And,
post some stuff.
yeah,
I want to talk to you about your name.
Go for it.
But should we do this on this chat, or would you like to do that off camera, or
You know
would you
what?
like to do it in a different video?
I mean, we can just touch on it now. Like, I mean, the idea, like, you know, we have like different handles and stuff. You know, Jordan's gone by like Patchman in the past, and I myself
Well,
like the
Patchman's the blue guy. I channel Patchman.
okay.
I'm just Jordan.
Okay, Jordan's Jordan. So I mean, yes, like I am Brendan, and a pseudonym that I use is Skull Babylon. And I know there's a lot of people they hear that and they're like Skull Babylon, like that's you know, that's a interesting name, and some people will even say like, oh, there's like Illuminati connotations with that name and stuff like that. But I mean, I think, and this is something like I have no problem getting into. Like, I mean, for me personally, like even the whole like eye at the top of the pyramid sort of thing, like a lot of people see that and they're just like, oh, that's like the Illuminati, that's like the bad guys or something like that, right? Whereas what I'm trying to do, and even through my name, and this is something I'm still coming to learn, is this idea of like transmuting what it's sort of what society sort of like wants us to label or perceive, you know, something like the word Babylon. Like a lot of people, depending on your knowledge of Babylon, and even just like the word skull, right? Like the word like skull, people hear that, they think like death. But at the same time, like it can also mean like birth and life and like rebirth, right? So I mean, like the whole Skull Babylon thing, it's, you know, I've set it up to like act as a mirror, so that when you hear that my name's Skull Babylon, like what does that make you think? Like, is there a negative connotation that you associate with that? And if so, then like maybe that's something that you can transmute like within yourself. So I mean, like for me to use this term, like this name Skull Babylon, like it came to me through it. I mean, how it came to me is kind of like a story in itself. But I mean, well, basically it came from like, I mean, I played video games, and originally I was a Skull Defiler, and then it was Skull explicit word that I can't say on live stream, and Skull Babylon came after that. So I mean, but it had a good ring to it, and there's like esoteric sort of connotations to it. And again, it's still something that I'm like learning. Like what is Skull Babylon? There is no one meaning to it. Like it's everything. It's nothing. It's a mirror upon other mirrors. It's kind of the way I see it. So
it's definitely a vibration.
Yeah, it's a vibration.
And it's really funny because you're just like, oh, you know, it has a good ring to it. It sounds cool. But it's a vibration, and all vibrations have meanings because we've given them meanings over time, and those vibrations have their ideas.
Right.
And so skull is a container for the brain. The brain is a duality, is a mechanism of duality.
Right.
Babylon is the control system. Mm-hmm. The entire system that we're living in, this entire false technological structure of reality that we've created, is called Babylon. And it was birthed in Babylon with the Tower of Babel, and then that fell, and then Babylon rose and it became a big empire, and the empire basically spread across all of the Middle East and took dominance over all those lands. Like they took over, you know, the whole area that like America right now, the American government is doing everything they can to take control of and monitor and take the oil and take the, you know, Stargates and all this stuff. They're that's ultimately what Babylon is. That's what it means. And what's happening in this consciousness shift is we're leaving Babylon. We're getting rid of it. We're moving away from it, moving back into the heart, out of the brain and into the heart. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I feel that a lot of people don't really resonate with Skull Babylon, probably for that reason, is because the very vibration of what it is, well, it's, you know, it is what it is, and I just kind of described it. And so that's kind of what I wanted to talk with you about, because I get that, you know, a lot of people, even when they choose usernames and stuff, they're like, oh, this sounds cool, I'll just go with it. Mm-hmm. Well, what is the meaning behind it, you know, and really get to the core of the vibration. Change, you know, it's if you get to the core of the toroidal field, and this is in the new Spirit Science, which is coming out Monday, but it's being premiered here, by the way. If anybody has like last minute in the Nashville area, come out, watch Spirit Science, have a good time. It's the core of the toroidal field, which is this form that goes around everything, is basically the purest representation of the whole. And so the whole vibration is reflecting that core vibration, and the core vibration is whatever it is. If you're in your heart, then it's source. If you're in your brain, it can be all matter of things, but it starts with a duality idea. I think Skull Babylon kind of comes from that. Personally, I even like Brendan a lot better.
Oh, yeah.
It resonates with you. But you have I mean, everyone. Again, I made that video. What's in a name? Maybe I'll
Yeah.
link to it or something.
Mm-hmm.
There's really you can name yourself and you can call yourself whatever it is that you want.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to call your, I mean, I went by Spirit Patch. I went by just Jordan Deschednier for a long time. You know, just kind of things that kind of came through. Now it's Jordan David. I resonate with that a lot more. But yeah, it's kind of just if you're gonna call yourself something and you just kind of made up the name, just find out what it means. Because if it came from Skull Defiler, and that was the root of Skull Babylon,
right,
and where it came from, is that really a vibration of paradigm shifting proportions, or does that sound like something like a skullfuck kid playing FPS games?
Well, it's both, man. Like, because I mean, like, because even the term like Skull Defiler, which again like was a video game handle that I had back in the day, like that in itself like went back to my idea of like having all these crazy thoughts in my head. So I mean, you know, imagine you just like went up to someone and just be like, "You're a multi-dimensional being, and you're more than what you realize, and like aliens are real, and like blah 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 Sasquatch or something like that," right? Like, I mean, like that idea of like someone just like defiling their skull with information or something. Like it
really?
went.
That's what you're going to use as an excuse?
Well, that's not an excuse, man. Like, I mean, that's
hold
like
on.
there's like a tactic behind this. So
okay, no, you keep talking. I'm going to
we're
Google
still
something.
feeding. He's just doing stuff on his thing.
Etymology defile.
Okay.
Let's find out what defile means.
Okay, so we're just looking up the word defile, the etymology of it.
To make filthy.
Right. So, but sometimes, you know, in order to
make
like
filthy with all of your thoughts about the aliens.
Right. But in order to like sometimes like create something into something new, like it has to be sort of like reconstructed, right? So I mean, it kind of goes back to that idea. So I mean, again, I'm not trying to defile anyone's skulls here. So like, don't let me, let me be polite about this. So, but I mean,
also know that I'm not coming from a place of attacking.
No,
you can
no.
call yourself whatever you want. I just want to
yeah.
make it clear to you what it is that you're calling yourself.
Oh yeah, and again, you know, like the skull defiler, like that's more for like when I'm playing video games and like, you know, getting headshots and stuff like that, right?
What does that say?
So yeah, again, defile, trample down, ill-treat, dishonor. So I mean, yeah, this is the epistemology of that person who cleans and thickens claws. And now we're just looking up Babylon.
The gate of the gods.
Yeah.
Oh, lowercase g on gods.
Yeah.
Basically, the aliens, Anunnaki, the other beings who were kind of influencing. They had a huge thing in Babylon. That was pretty much where, like, Greys and reptiles, whoever it was, Anunnaki maybe came down and started influencing things.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting as well. I didn't know that.
Yeah. See, there's a lot to Babylon, right? And I mean, like, depending on where you look it up, like, you'd get different information. I mean, like, I'd encourage people here, just try running searches on Babylon and sort of see what comes to mind. So now we're looking up the word skull.
Just bald head.
Everybody sort of knows what that is. So.
Yeah, that's very.
But again, you know, like even when I was using the term Babylon, kind of what Jordan's saying, like it's this control system. Like part of what I see, my choice in terms of like a role that I take on is this idea that like I'm willing to like work within the system to be able to like change it from within. And this is sort of like the mentality of like a hacker. You could almost think. I mean, rather than just like running off into the mountains and staying there forever, which is not, you know, something that like there's a time and a place for that. Like personally, like I feel that like for me, given like my skill set and just the fact that I don't know how many other people are like totally willing to do this, but like I see there's a purpose to like going into your community, to go into the Babylon and like do what you can to like work within it. So I mean, like me saying that like I'm Skull Babylon is like also me saying the fact that like the Babylon is referring to like the environment that like I'm situated within. Sort of saying that like I'm like changing things from the inside is kind of another way to interpret it. So
yes, and I want to add, you cannot change a flat tire in a car without stopping the car. So you can't change the car. You can't fix the car from the inside of the moving car while it's moving.
Right.
You have to get out of the car. You have to stop it, and you have to fix it, and you have to change it. And so it's for exactly what you said. I think that this event is a good example of that because you're basically stopping the car, you're getting out, you're leaving your technology, and you're forgetting everything you know to go experience all of these new people that you've never met before and make connections with people in a new way. So that when you go back to the world and you pick up your technology and you fix the tire and you go back into the system, you have tools to change it.
Right.
Because you're transmuting it from within yourself and then it's reflecting outward. You cannot fix the system from outside of it, or from you cannot fix the system externally. It has to be internal.
Mhm.
And now we kind of take it all back to the core of the toroidal field, which is in the core of your heart. The only way to really change the world is to change yourself.
Right.
Now we've gone full
Right.
circle.
Yeah, I think so. So for all of you who have been tuned in, again, like we can put the links into the description of this video once it sort of puts itself up on YouTube, but paradigmshiftcentral.com, if you go there, like that's the website that like I created, put together like a few years ago. I mean, oh, and also tune into Paradigm Shift Radio, which is live every Saturday. I'm one of the co-hosts for that, and we'll be doing a live show here from the 3 Days of Light. So that's Saturday at 11 p.m. Feel free to tune into that. Jordan may be dropping by for that. We're, again, we're just going with the flow, right? So there's so much going on this weekend, and again, we're just going to do our best to be able to like bring an aspect of that story to you guys, so that to say that like we're here, we care for you guys, and thank you for tuning in, and thank you for listening. But don't let it end there. Like what can you take from this? Like, have you learned something? Like, can you go and talk to someone else about the conversations that like we're having, and not just this one, but like the ones that are still yet to happen. So
meditate this weekend, or whenever you see this video, on connecting and getting in tune with everybody who's doing gatherings right now. You'll add your consciousness, you'll bring yourself there, and you'll also connect with that and channel it through you.
Yeah.
So that whole gathering as a whole can emanate through you in a subtle way, energetically, but it'll still happen. Because, well, the power of meditation is amazing. There's truly, I mean, I'm going to do the whole video on that too, and I know I did before a little bit, but in world peace meditations, in I think it was like Sudan or Turkey or somewhere overseas, or maybe it was even in Jordan, it wasn't me, but when they were meditating a lot, the peace would go up. There'd be no wars, and when they stopped, it would go down, and when they started meditating, it went up. And it truly works this way on this cosmic scale. If you meditate, you will get in tune with us, and we'll get in tune with you. We'll start channeling you, you'll start channeling us, and then the next thing you know, we really are that in tune with each other, that we realize and acknowledge the true inherent oneness that flows through all of us.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Which is a nice thought,
Yeah. Again, like sort of going back to this idea that like the illusion of separateness. So I mean, like think about this for a second. Like I'm me, Jordan's him. We're two very similar yet different people. Yet at the same time, we're still consciousness communicating to itself just through like different perspectives, right? So I mean, in the same way that you're that too. So I mean, like from consciousness to consciousness, like we're doing whatever it takes to like awaken ourselves. And I'm not saying that I'm just doing it. I'm just saying
whatever it takes. Which
takes.
is truly just like let go. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Sometimes like the most work just involves letting go, and maybe that will like make sense over time. But I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we're holding on to that's preventing that flow from sort of like happening naturally. Because I mean, that's the idea, right? Like when you're in that like moment of like stillness, like that's where the universe sort of like flows naturally, right? So there's always like these blockages, these filters, and it's through that removal of these blockages that like the natural flow of the universe like comes and emanates through you, and then that's like that's when you start getting into those synchronicities and things just start falling into place. So I mean, that's something that more and more of you are coming to realize in your own lives, and feel free to like tell us, like leave your comments if you want, just like tell us like how your lives have been like changing within the last like 6 months, because I mean things are accelerating, right? Like we're exponentially like at that point where we're in November, and we obviously have that date that's sort of set ahead, and sort of a little bonus.
I think we have a little more time than we originally thought.
Yeah, and
it's really up to us.
Yeah, and again, like the way I see it, like with the whole like 2012 thing, like the way I see it, like we're still in like this training phase, and like 2013 is like when the real work starts. So I mean, like we're still like getting ready for it. But I mean, that's don't expect that like once we get to that point that like that's it, we did it. All right, now what? Like we should already be thinking to 2013 and preparing ourselves for the fact that like that's when we really got to keep continuing to be committed, because I mean, like as far as I'm concerned, like I'm in here for the long haul. Like I'm staying in Babylon, like I'm like staying in the trenches, so to speak. So I mean, like that's like just something that I think we need to keep in mind, is that there's a lot of work to be done, but at the same time, rest is an essential part of work. So like Jordan's saying, like meditate, like help remove those blockages within yourself, so that work, that flow becomes play, and it happens and it comes back to you like in a more like natural and efficient manner. So we want to open ourselves to that full potential that the universe has to offer us. So
I had a whole bunch of thoughts from that, and I don't know which one to go with. So, you look like you're getting cold.
no,
It's
not
kind of
really.
cool here. Well,
You're
you're
just getting a
shivering
bit
a
of
bit.
wind, but
Either way, yeah, absolutely. You don't have to stay in Babylon to shift it, because you holding on to Babylon is what's going to keep you in Babylon. You can become free of Babylon and exist in it externally, but internally you're in a completely different place.
right, yeah.
So I mean, that's pretty much it. And on that topic of letting go, I think we're gonna go, and I'm gonna try and get him to let go of his constant need to be editing, so that we can go have an experience at this place.
Oh yeah.
He's like, I got 3 more hours. It's okay. I'm like, you're gonna miss the event.
1 more hour. 1 more hour, and I'll probably have a new video up for you guys.
After that, he's done.
Yeah,
Cutting him off.
Yeah,
He's gonna
until
go
the live
experience the
stream and stuff. But,
You'll have all sorts of time to be editing and doing this video stuff afterwards too. And I think that's really when you go back to the system, that's when you can edit.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of time. So.
I mean, I didn't even think I'd be doing anything like this. This is his idea. I want to thank you for that too, because I don't always give myself the time to do a little broadcast. So
right.
Yeah, no, I forgot what I was saying. That's pretty much it.
All right. Well, I was just gonna say, like, just to like wrap up this video, feel free to add me on Facebook. So again, Skull Babylon. So Facebook.com/Skull Babylon and YouTube.com/Skull Babylon. And just one more thing
Shameless plug.
Yeah, shameless plug. So I mean, because I want to be connected with you guys, right? Like I know there's people out there who haven't added me yet, so feel free to do that, because there's still so much to have, right? I mean, again, like I said, 2013 is just around the corner, and that's when the real work begins. So just to sort of finish this off, Jordan, I want to show you something which may be brand new to you. It's like what I call is like the soul shake. So it's
soul shake.
So it's like a secret handshake, right? So okay, so hand out like this, and then no, just like straight like that, and then spread your fingers 45 degrees like that, and then. Like that.
Ah.
Is that new to you?
You know, I have a better way.
Okay, you got your own way?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's not really too much of a shake, but...
No, it's more powerful than a shake.
Alright.
Very loving hugs.
So there you go. So one more
now
soul shake.
Now I want to go into a whole talk about why hugs are important.
Okay, one more soul shake just to demonstrate. So I mean, going like that, 45 degrees, and then see that, show the camera and see like that's like the helix, right? So I mean,
it is a helix.
It's very like mutual. No one's dominating the other person. It's very like of the soul, so to speak. So share that with your friends.
Oh, so here's another one actually I learned. Go like that. Okay, and then you put the hands together and you wrap your fingers around, and that's a hand hug. When you're not able to hug, like there's a table between you or something, you just do hug hands. Yeah,
okay,
you wrap your fingers around. So
that's cute. So.
There you go. All right, everyone.
Cool. All right, guys. So
namaste.
Stay tuned. Keep an eye open for the videos that I'll keep posting, and thank you for listening. So namaste.
Toodles.
Worry, cry. I'm all alone again. I have information. I don't know what to do. Although the information's not worth anything to anybody because nobody knows me. And even if they did, not everything comes true because there's so many numbers and so many places in the world it might just happen somewhere else and I was just a coincidence. Unless I energize the inside of me and show you the difference in why Halloween is coming. Shom just sang 2 songs. Shom is talking to me. Now you can make believe, but when you listen to the music and you start to move your feet and move your head to the beat, Shom is talking to you. But you're not listening to exactly what it says. You're just extending it to your feet, letting your feet talk on the floor. Well, I put my foot in my mouth and let my soul talk to me. SS, soul, 115 volts, 24 hours, X-man a day. I just found an old note of 1.5 years ago, probably, and it's telling the same story. It's coming back in time to me from the past into the future by something I have done. I started to clean up and put everything away. But everything is away because I can't get to it if it's anywhere else. It's away from my arms. I've cleaned up a little bit. I wish I had somebody here cleaning up the whole house, but if you remove the dust, you remove the vibration from within the dust that I'm picking it up from. Now, nothing may be true, hypothetically thinking, and the czar of all time of 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40, 44, 48, and on and on and on. 44 is the word space. 91 is the spirit. 45 is the angle. But 47 is time. And 44 is space. And the 74 Christ is upon us. We're locked on each side. Each one has their own rule and their own law, and putting them into implication now. The question is, will they raise the waters so that the bridges separate and collapse? Or will just a lightning bolt knock out, just like that, 3 or 4 bridges? Which bridges will they take down? Which ones should they take down? Which ones are they going to take down? We'll only know that in chapter 39. Because until chapter 39, all they are is taking down bridges. When they come down, I'll tell you where they are. You'll know, I'll know, we'll all know. So if you have to wait 10 years till a bridge falls down, well, that's the way you're going to know. You're going to say, hey, this died 10 years ago, like Nostradamus said. If you want to see something, 147-741-888, 258-825, 8 and 2, 10, 5 and 5, 10, 2 and 8, 10. But if we add it, 2 and 8 is 10, plus 1 is 11, plus 1 is 11, 10 is 110% of your mind, or 3 and 3 zeros. 30, creation. Each one is 15, each zero. 45, 15, 15, 15 is 45, it's one angle. 11, 110%, the 0, it goes to 15 over here. Plus the 1 is 16. You get 116. 116 is AB and F creation that comes from 3 and 9. 258 was on your telephone, center going up and down. 852 reversed to M, love 1000. That's the one spirit of God that gave 3 eggs to Beta, 1 to create a real live person with his brain and to manipulate him in this world. 369963 into the regular world of counting up. We have 2332. We have the Christ sitting in the center. If the Christ is sitting in the center of 1000, which is God up, but blocked into this world because of the period the woman has, he comes in to stop her period, and he's alive to continue her period with the blood of your mother inside of you carrying the Father's name. And over here, 456 reverse is the same thing. 369 in the 10 world, 9 and 3 is 12, 1 and 2 is 3. 6 and 6 is 12, 1 and 2 is 3, 9 and 3 is 12, 1 and 6 is 3. 9 and 6 is 3, 3, 6, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4 corners, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 6, 6, 6. It was your creation coming in here, is the beast of whatever man does. Then we go up to 7, 8, 9. 9, 8, 7. 7 and 9 is 16. 8 and 8 is 16 plus 1 is 7. 7 and 9 is 16 plus 1, 1776. So do you want to know where they got 1776? 6, 6, and 6 equals 4, 4, and 4 in the 10 world, 1, 1, 1 in the 7 world, 9, 9, 9 in the 10 world is 1, 1, 1, times 16 equals 1776. There's no numbers they haven't used because they have to follow what God is doing and take over the world at the same time. So they have to win us and beat him at the chess game. Raphael 7286. I'm coming right back at you with something else. Thank you.